guys, today we're going to discuss collars, harnesses and leashes. These are tools which we use every single day, often without much thought, despite their sheer importance. Like anything else, every training and management tool and every style of said tool will have its pros and cons. Some kit is better than others, and some tools simply aren't fit for purpose, and some actually pose a danger to the health and well-being of your dog. So, let's just get into it. Now we're going to start with collars. Collars can be found on the market in their gazillions, and you'll find a whole rainbow of colours and styles, different materials, different weights. Some are soft, some are rigid, some are lightweight, some are heavy. You get the idea. And collars come with a variety of different clasps, like the good old-fashioned buckles. You have clip clasps, which come in metal or plastic varieties, and you have the cobra clips. And I'm sure there are many more varieties out there. You get the idea though, the options for collars out there are absolutely endless. So, what do you choose for your dog? Well, what's right for your dog is going to be very individual and depends on your dog's personal and unique preferences, their size, their fitness levels, their breeding, their behaviour history, the purpose of the collar, whether it's for sporting use, training, general day-to-day, and so forth. A general guide when we're looking for that perfect collar is to find a well-fitting, flat collar which is nice and wide to help distribute any unexpected pressure. To make sure it's fitted correctly, the rule of thumb is to make sure that you can fit 2 fingers underneath the collar all the way around when it's on the dog, and ensure that the dog can't pull it off over their ears. The actual style, weight and size of the collar is down to the handler and the dog's own preference. But with that said, be mindful when choosing your collar. For example, we wouldn't want to put a heavy weighted collar like this on a delicate breed such as a Chihuahua or on a puppy, for example. And vice versa, we wouldn't want to put a lightweight, slim collar on a Belgian Malinois or a Cane Corso that has a history of aggression or chasing cars. When we're working our dog on a collar, we want to avoid any pressure on the collar and that sensitive throat area if we can, but it's important to ensure that your collar can withstand the pressure exerted by your dog should it need to. So, like I said, there's good tools, bad tools, and there's dangerous tools. So let's quickly go over the styles of collar which you absolutely want to avoid at all costs. And these are choke chains, prong collars and shock collars. Now, choke chains are a metal chain which tightens around your dog's neck when pressure is applied, choking the dog, hence the name. Your prong collars are very similar by the way that they tighten when pressure is applied, and for that added barbaricness they also have these metal spikes which are pressed into the dog's throat as it tightens. And the shock collar, or the e-collar as it's often known, is an electronic device which is operated via a remote control that the handler has, which delivers an electric shock to the dog. Now, these, in my opinion, have zero purpose in dog training or handling, and they're not permitted in my classes or sessions for any reason, and like I said, they are pretty barbaric. They're designed to give the handler more control and communication with the dog, and they work by delivering physical pain or discomfort, known as corrections, as a consequence for the dog performing unwanted behaviours in an attempt to reduce them. This is an outdated method of training which can inflict serious injury to your dog, as well as mentally and emotionally damaging the dog both in the short and long term. So, moving on to harnesses. This again can be a little bit of a minefield. These again come in a whole variety of shapes, sizes, weights, styles and so forth. So I'm going to give you a quick run through of what I look for in a harness. The first thing is this Y shape on the front, which offers the best support and distributes pressure more effectively than other styles on the market, and it allows the dog free movement of the joints. When it comes to fit, then again we want to make sure that we can fit 2 fingers underneath all the way around the harness. We also want to ensure that the harness we choose doesn't have any straps sitting across the dog's joints, which may cause discomfort or irritation, and check that the straps aren't rubbing underneath your dog's forearms. Right then, last up, leashes. Again, these come in all different varieties. The most important aspect of choosing a leash for your dog is quality. The last thing we want is our leash failing on us and the clasp or stitching breaking. Just like everything else, we have pros, we have cons, we have the good, the bad and the ugly. So let's talk about what we don't want, especially for training. Now, the first style we want to avoid is one of the most popular amongst dog owners and one of dog trainers' biggest peeves. And this is the extendable leash, also known as flexi lead or retractable leads. Now, these really are a poor choice for a variety of reasons. First one being safety. These leashes are commonly known to fail by the mechanism breaking, meaning you either can't reel your dog back in again or they just outright snap. Another big issue with them arises when you drop one, which can happen to the best of us, and this is a common cause of dogs becoming lost. When the owners drop the handle, it makes quite a loud clatter, and the dog gets a fright from the loud sudden noise. They flee, then they continue to run because of the scary clunking noise, which is now chasing them down the street. The third reason to avoid these is the design itself and how it works. These leashes by design will teach your dog to keep tension on the leash and to pull, because that's exactly how they work. That's right, sorry guys, but if your dog is pulling and you use one of these, the likelihood is that you've taught him to pull. So we're going to ditch those extendable leashes. And I hear what you're going to say, but what about my dog getting the freedom? Not to worry, you can get yourself a long line, which comes in lengths from anywhere from 5 meters to over 100 meters long, which is plenty distance for your dog to run and be free. Now, the next style of leash which we want to avoid are slip leashes. You'll often find these used by your vet at boarding kennels, maybe at the groomers for ease and speed. However, they aren't something which I recommend, and they certainly aren't suitable for day-to-day walking or training. How these work is the loop goes around the dog's neck, and when tension is put on the leash, the loop tightens. If the dog continues putting pressure on the loop, then it continues to tighten. And it goes without saying that anything that tightens around your dog's neck is a risk to their health, safety and well-being, and to the relationship that you have with your dog, as well as their relationship with the environment and the world around them. So remember, when buying a leash, all we need is a good old-fashioned standard leash that clips onto our dog. Like our collars, it's important to be mindful of the leash and the clasp weight and the strength, and make sure it's suitable for the individual dog which it's intended for. So, the last thing that I quickly want to talk about is equipment safety and maintenance. Now, this is something which is super important and may seem pretty obvious, yet it's easily overlooked, often until it's too late. Your dog's harnesses, collars and leashes, these are what keeps your dogs safe. So it's important to ensure that your equipment is fit for purpose before use. Just like anything else, wear and tear does occur, and over time, equipment can become frayed, split and damaged. So before every use, check that your clips are all working properly and your buckles are intact. Check that your stitching around the buckles and all along the equipment isn't damaged or loose. Check along the whole leash and harness, make sure there's no splits or frays which can reduce the strength or effectiveness of your equipment. And with that said, that's us. Hopefully this gives you a better idea of what you're looking for when you're buying your dog's kit. Happy training.